my name is Leonard Michael. I'm a PhD candidate at the University of St. Andrews. Previously, I did also my master's degree there, but originally I'm from Germany and also did my bachelor's degree there at the University of Bamberg, and also spent a semester abroad at the University of Tehran. And now I've come to Scotland to do my master's degree, but I stayed there as I realized that I could do my PhD there and had a pretty good environment for doing that. So, and still have. Yes.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. And what is your research about?
So I'm looking at the history of the exile of the Tudeh party of Iran in East Germany, and not only on the exile in East Germany. So the Tudeh was this Marxist-Leninist party which was quite active in Iran between 1941 and 1953, and basically the leadership had to flee Iran after the coup and the persecution, and by the consolidating regime of Mohammad Reza Shah. And yeah, they eventually relocated to East Germany, and I'm looking at how they basically started to re-establish their party apparatus in East German exile. And I'm also interested in how they crossed the German border to establish networks among the Iranian student community in West Germany. And I'm looking at that in the context of international and transnational processes, and yeah, basically how the processes within the student community also impacted and affected the establishment of such networks, which were crucial for the party to basically communicate with former followers of the party in Iran.
On the Tudeh in Britain, and it's really nice to see fresh research on the Tudeh come out. So thank you for doing this topic. But what led you to this topic?
Since my bachelor's, I was really interested in Iranian intellectual history. And then I started to do my master's at the University of St. Andrews, and I saw a module on Marxism in Iran, and I was quite interested in that. And I thought, well, just attend this the seminar, and it was organized by Dr. Siyavush Ranjbadoemi, and he realized that I'm from Germany and know German and also know Persian. So he suggested to me, yeah, why don't you just look at the Tudeh and the exile of the Tudeh in Germany? And then I started to read a lot about that, and I thought, well, this could be a really interesting topic for doing my PhD.
Not everyone either speaks Russian or German, and these are the two best languages to know when you want to look at the Tudeh in Europe, especially during this period. So yeah, looking forward to hearing more about your research as you go along. But why did you decide to stay in the UK? I mean, you've kind of touched on this already because of St. Andrews being a good environment. You know, you have Dr. Siyavush there. So, but were there other reasons that encouraged you to stay on?
Yeah, I mean, I think the system in the UK is quite different from the system in Germany. And I think, I mean, both systems have their advantages and disadvantages, but I think the advantage of the UK system is that the supervision you get is yeah, much denser. It's so you're more controlled in a way, and people are, so the contact between student and supervisor is much more intensive than it is in Germany. In Germany, I don't know, the thing is, in Germany you don't have a proper framework. It really depends on your supervisor whether he or she meets you once
Interesting.
once a month or once every 3 months or something like that. And in the UK, you have always these frameworks where they say, okay, you have to meet at least once a fortnight or something like that. And
Right.
also, I think within the academic culture, it's less hierarchical. So you're pretty. So in my experience, it's more like working within a research group with colleagues rather than being a student, which who has to be thankful that someone is offering supervision. So it's more on par, I think.
That's nice, and I agree with you actually, and I felt the same way. I mean, obviously, I'm quite respectful of my supervisors, and I know they know much more than me, and I learn from them. But there is definitely a very, it's a nice, welcoming environment for sure, and the relationship can be very healthy if both parties, I think, come together at the right time, in the right place, and in the right way. And finally, what are your thoughts on Iranian studies as an academic field in the UK?
I mean, I'm haven't been studying Iranian studies for long enough in the UK to say something substantial about it. I mean, I attended the Symposia Iranica conference, which is, I mean, where scholars from also from other countries came to the UK. But I felt that this is was a great event. But sometimes I think, I mean, also Iranian studies, I mean, it really offers the opportunity to gather people and to have an interdisciplinary perspective at things. But sometimes I think you shouldn't go too far with this approach, because sometimes you also tend to just essentialize Iran and say, well, it's so special, we need a discipline just for the country or for the cultural area or something like that. And in the UK, you have actually the advantage that you always are affiliated to a certain discipline. So, for example, I'm based at the School of History and also affiliated with the Institute for Iranian Studies, but it's not that I'm just doing Iranian studies and nothing else. So yeah,
that's
and
true.
met
No,
a
that's
lot of
nice.
interesting people.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. It's like it's nice to have sort of a foot in your field and your subject, and have this affiliation with Iran as a country, or the Persianate world, if you want to look at it as sort of a bit more broad. But thank you so very much for your time and for sharing your thoughts and experiences and your research. Keep us updated with what you're doing, and we'll keep this conversation going.
How do? Thank you very much.